Is selling on Poshmark live shows worth it? Because the other day I was watching some other YouTubers. I was reading the comments about live shows, and these people were saying live shows isn't worth it, live shows is ruining it, are people actually making money on live shows? And it was kind of bashing all the live shows. And it really got me to thinking about it, and I was like, well, is it worth it? So yeah, I was looking at the negative comments and thinking about my live shows and kind of like where I started. I started last year, end of the year, I would say October, November of 2022, and it's 2023 now. And I thought about what I was doing, and I was like, well, from where I started with my live shows making barely any to now, it's gonna be a wide range depending on $50 to $200. That's the most I've done. I haven't done over 200 yet. So I've been doing live shows for almost about 10 months, so close to a year now. And when I first started, I had a really basic setup. I had just a foldable clothing rack that didn't hold much clothing. I'd lay some on the bed and have to sort through them. And what I would do is I'd stand in front of the camera and I would describe the item that I'm selling. I had a measuring tape because I thought, you know, if people would ask for the measurements, I would be easily do the measurements, because before I got on live shows, I was watching live shows a lot to kind of understand how to do them. And then I also, of course, had to apply. I actually was doing live shows before bundling was a thing. When people purchase multiple items, it all showed as individual sales on your sold page. So you had to manually create a new listing with the items and the price and send it to the customer, and they would repurchase it, and once they purchased it, you would delete all the individual items. So it was definitely a pain to do, and once they upgraded the feature of bundling together, it was a lifesaver. I've seen no success at all, to some success, to frustrations, to ups and downs, to very like emotional, like I don't want to do it because I was very upset with it. And then to finding a routine and staying consistent with it. So like the first couple times I did it, like I said, I didn't really see too much success. It was winter time, so I got some items and I didn't really know how to price them. So my first show, I actually priced based on what I thought someone would buy it at, but it wasn't like too cheap, but it wasn't too expensive. It was discounted. Say like these shorts, these are a new day shorts, and I might have put like 12 bucks or 10 bucks or something. Which I wasn't getting many sales because I was being very specific with it. So then I switched up my pricing strategy, and I was like, well, I'm gonna do all like low starts, or say like $5 starts. And I did $5 starts one time, and I didn't like it because $5 was a really low profit and I wasn't seeing like people were bidding higher. So then I moved it up to $6. $6 has been pretty good for me right now. I still make a little bit of a profit because I get my items for about 99 cents an item. Sometimes a little less, sometimes a little more, especially since it's summertime right now and they're not heavy items. Wintertime, the price does change a little bit. So I'll see if that'll change in my pricing strategy for the winter time for my live shows, but summertime right now it's been working really well. Of course, you know, this pricing strategy took some time to figure out, and then along with that, it was also, I wasn't doing measurements. So people were clicking in and out of it. Was probably the way I was presenting it. I always had music in the background, so one thing that I really like to do is have my boombox in the background and put on some tunes. I think it's fun for the viewer, and it's fun for me because then I can like kind of sing along or dance around, and it's not just me talking and standing in front of the camera. I do want to make it more of a fun shopping experience. Is it worth it to do the live shows? And I'm gonna say yes and no. So the reason I say yes is because it's been really good for my sales, and I can clearly see an increase in the sales that I've made. And I've actually figured out the process on the way I do my live shows, the way I photo and list items, a nice process that works really well. But this is where I think live shows maybe is not a good thing. I do believe in live shows, you sell everything at a heavily discounted price. So like I said, all my live shows I start at $6, and since I don't have necessarily a huge following or a lot of viewers, like my viewer range can be like from 4 viewers all the way to my highest has been like 25 viewers, 26 viewers, which sure, you may be like that's a lot, or you may be like that's not a lot. And For me starting out and only seeing 3 to 6 viewers, that's a big increase, and that's a lot being over consistent and having the banners up and making sure that I let people know I'm doing lives consistently. But I do think it takes away from the store sales. So this previous month, I actually focused a lot on live shows and not so much inside my Poshmark closet on listing items, and I did notice a huge decrease in that as opposed to before I was doing both together, and it was kind of meshing together very nicely. So I think I need to find a happy medium between posting and live shows, so that way that my closet sales go up. But I also wonder if it's hurting my Poshmark sales in the closet because people know they can go to live shows and get items for maybe a lot cheaper. So some of the frustrations that I had were not seeing sales. So standing there for an hour, 2 hours, not making any sales. And yes, that did happen a few times. Or doing it and seeing $50 or $60 and being really frustrated with it. So I'm not sure yet if that's why I say yes and no. I'm not sure if live shows are great or not great because I can't quite see yet how it's hurting my closet or helping it. Something I read in the comments, and this is kind of how this video was inspired, was through the negative, or not the negative, well yeah, through the hate or the dislike for the live shows. And I do think the reason those people were not liking the live shows is because the channel was designated for resellers and not necessarily customers. So I'm curious because from customers, I see people enjoy the live shows. They have fun doing it. A reseller might not like it because, like I said, it's taking money away from the closet because they're getting it so much cheaper in a live show. But who knows, that'll be for more testing and figuring things out and more videos to create for you. Is Poshmark live shows worth it? And I would say if you are a reseller, I would say yes, it is worth it. I think you should give it a shot. You should get a system down and figure out how to do it in what you're doing right now and see if it increases your sales. And don't do it just one time. You need to give it literally 30 days and do it at least 5 to 30 times, because after 5 times, you still might not see the success you want, but you're going to get better when you hit to your 30th show, 40th show, as with anything. You just have to try it. Stay consistent and see if you like it or not. As a customer, if you buy on Poshmark, I think you should check out live shows too, because they are fun. Now, granted, it is hard to find live shows because everyone can do them now. So it's really easy to click into someone that maybe doesn't have a good process or a structure to the show, and it's just not fun to watch. So don't give up on the first one you click in. Click into different ones, check out multiple ones, and see what works and process and show you like, because if you find someone you like, you can go back to their weekly, daily, every other day live shows, knowing that they have great items or clothing for you that you like, and that's your style. Let me know in the comments, what do you think about Poshmark live shows? And do it from both sides. Tell me, as a seller, is Poshmark live shows as a seller worth it? And as a customer, do you think Poshmark live shows are worth it? So if you are a reseller or a seller on Poshmark, and you could be a potential customer as well, give me both sides and look at it like from an objective view.